The show Indian Matrimony has taken the internet over by storm. And today we are not going to be discussing about matchmakers, but we are going to be discussing about matrimony and in specific about online matrimony. I'm going to be sharing my experience on these online matrimonial sites. The reason I'm sharing it is because we all have a certain set of expectations, but the reality is very, very far-fetched from what we imagine it to be. And it would also help people cope with these obnoxious surprises and experiences tactfully. So basically we are going to discuss this in two parts. The first part we'll discuss about the different kinds of people that you meet on the matrimonial site. And in the second part, we are going to be discussing about if you meet a prospective, then what is the plan of action? Plan of action, wow, that sounds like a project or an assignment deal. So first about the different kinds of people that you meet online. The first kind that we're going to discuss about is the confused kind. Just the most common kind of people that you meet on the matrimonial site too. They are confused because maybe they are there because of peer pressure from friends. Most of their friends are married, so they are lonely and they suddenly feel like, why not explore this option? And the second kind are the kinds where they are there purely because of pressure from family, or they've committed to their family that they will start meeting people. These kind of people, they don't really resist or counter during a conversation, nor would they actively participate. It will take a while before they actually decide and have a clarity if they want to get married. So you know what to do, whether to walk away or to stay. And another important point is that just because you have met someone on matrimony doesn't mean that every single person that you meet are very serious about marriage. They are just exploring their options. So are you, right? Because it's an arranged marriage and you obviously want to make the best choice. So don't have your expectations too high on anyone too quick. The second kind of people that you meet online are married to work but want to explore real marriage kind of people. So the thing with them is, I know everybody is busy, everybody is working, but these people are 24/7 committed to work and they are excruciatingly busy with work. And you could be asking, then why are they even exploring this option of the matrimonial site? Maybe they're growing older and somewhere they are a little insecure. What if they grow older and they end up single in life? So they're currently just exploring this option. They could be extremely charming, they could be very, very interesting, in fact, to have a conversation that by the end of the conversation, you sort of actually share a compatibility, and they also commit to you that they would stay in touch with you and they would give that kind of time and energy just to learn about each other. But chances are highly likely that they would just disappear because their real commitment is only their work. And So don't be disappointed, but that's just how some people are. That's what I said, like, don't place your expectation too high on someone just based on one or two meetings. Just see how consistently someone is taking the effort and time to stay in touch, and then base your judgment. The only real commitment at any point or at that point in their life is actually work, and they really don't have energy or space for another person in their life. Also, I think especially when you're getting to know each other, initially if they don't give you that time and energy, then when will they ever give their time and energy? Because if they don't give it in the most crucial phase, then do you think that they will really give their time and energy at any other point? The third kind is the casual seekers, the kind that make us cringe and get us obnoxious. Yes, they are really looking for a casual relationship or for a hookup. So I know what you're wondering, but why would they do that on a matrimonial site, right? I know one of my friends who's had like an extremely unpleasant experience, and we were really irked and disturbed by it. But let's bring in some perspective. Okay, beyond these dating sites like Tinder or Hinge, there are also people looking for casual relationship on social media, right? Like on FB or on Insta. Nothing stops them from pursuing what they want, because whatever it is, at the end of the day, all these are open platforms, be it like a matrimonial site or social media. All these are open platforms, and people just say and do whatever they want to. So it's important that, you know, we show complete disregard for it and stay clear of our purpose on the matrimonial site. So the fourth kind, the compatible one, you finally feel like you have met the prospective Prince Charming. Prospective Prince Charming again sounds funny, but yeah, you finally meet someone who shares a genuine interest in your profile, and they're also willing to invest time and energy in getting to know you, and you share a great compatibility with this person. But again, hold your reins, like literally. Now we're going to look at the second part, where we're going to look at how do we pursue with this relationship. So one, what you need to remember is, if you stay in different cities, don't have more than 2 to 3 conversations on a call. The reason being that two people can be very easily compatible on a call, but in person they could be very, very different individuals. I shared a great compatibility with someone that my parents had found via call. But when we met in person, we were at loggerheads. So ensure that you meet the person, like maybe initially 2 to 3 conversations, because you live in different cities and it's inevitable, you could do that, but meet the person as fast as possible. Like schedule a meeting with them and understand if you are also compatible in person. And if you live in the same city, then it's easier for you, because you get to know if you're compatible even faster. But again, if you live in the same city, after 2 or 3 meetings, if you still see the relationship is going in the positive direction, and you are getting all the right vibes from it, then ensure to keep your parents in loop. It's very important that you keep your parents in loop, especially in case of an arranged marriage, because one, it lets you know that the other person is very serious about you, because involving family means that they are willing to take it a step forward, or they are serious about it. And two, a lot of times initially maybe the parents aren't in loop and two individuals get talking, and maybe you see that, oh yes, we share a great compatibility, maybe, you know, we should take the next step and let's get our family involved. If you do this, like say 6 months down the line or a lot later, then just think about it. What if there is a situation where the parents aren't happy with the girl or the guy being from another community? Then your 6 months of engaging yourself emotionally and staying committed is all sort of wasted, right? Because finally it's a bummer that the parents aren't okay that you're from a different community, and the families aren't okay, or one family is okay and the other family isn't okay with it. So just involve your parents as early as possible. Also, people ghosting on you or just disappearing is a very, very common scenario, I think, on matrimonial or a dating site. So one way we could avoid this kind of scenario and save us a lot of our emotional energy and time is by taking note of the red signals. We actually always receive those red signals somewhere or the other, but we tend to overlook them because we are in this very peppy, happy phase of the relationship. But do take note of the red signals and communicate with the person. Even if you get the smallest sign that something isn't right, then communicate with them. Be open and discuss it with them. It could definitely take the relationship a long way, or it would help you end the relationship right there and save yourself a lot of time and energy. Yes, so this is all I wanted to discuss for today. And the discussion about the Indian matrimony isn't over just as yet without talking about our good old matchmakers. We will talk about it in my next video and I'm super excited about it. Hope you enjoyed this video and you found it insightful. I'm really going out of my way, out of my comfort zone, trying to create different kinds of content. It would mean so much if you share your experiences or if you want to share your feedback in the comment section below. Remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and have a great week ahead.